Hello students, today we will discuss about the most complex and interesting topic within the photosystem, that is called the light reaction. First of all, we want to know what is a photosystem, and before photosystem we want to know where this process took place. This process took place within the photosynthesis. And what is a photosynthesis? That is a process through which plant convert the light energy into the chemical energy, and by this process the byproduct release as a form of oxygen gas. So the photosynthesis within the plant took place into the two steps. One is a light reaction, and another is a dark reaction. Light reaction involve the absorbing of light energy and convert into the chemical energy form like ATP and NADPH2. It also involve the releasing of oxygen gas and splitting of a water. Whereas the product of a light reaction will be utilized in the dark reaction to convert the inorganic substrate into the organic product, that is a carbon dioxide and water change into the glucose. So photosynthesis took place into the two steps. One is a biosynthetic phase, that is the second step, and before biosynthetic phase the main step involves the light reaction where the absorption of light took place, that is a first step. So we have look about the light reaction. What does mean the light reaction? Light reaction in the plant are responsible for absorbing the light energy and converting into the chemical energy. Of course, few pigments that are responsible for absorption of a light energy, does they present randomly within the plant? The answer is no. They are present in the group form. So when the pigment are present in the group form, this group is called the photosystem. Now the second question is, where does this group of pigment is present? So this group of pigment is present within the cell, and within the cell, within the organelle, and organelle has a structure that is called the thylakoid. On the membrane of thylakoid we observe the group of pigment. Let's have a look on the cell. Just we know that within the plant cells, just like a mesophyll that is responsible for performing the photosynthesis, and those cells which perform the photosynthesis within the plant cell, they have organelle that is called the chloroplast. Chloroplast is a double membrane bounded structure. Right now that is representing the chloroplast. What is this structure? This is a chloroplast. We observe the two membrane, outer and inner membrane. Within chloroplast, if you observe the membranous structure, just like the plates, they are present one on another and they form the building. This building-like structure, that is a membranous part, this is called the granum singularly, and plurally we call it the grana. So we have here we observe the two grana within the chloroplast. Two grana are connected by one another through a bridge-like structure that is known as by the stroma lamellae. That is known as by the stroma lamellae, and that whole structure is known as by the granum. Granum term is used when we use singular term. If more than one granum is present, then it is called the grana, plural term. Here we observe the two grana, and the unit of a granum is called the thylakoid. Here we observe the unit of a granum, that is known as by the thylakoid. And on the surface of a thylakoid, just if we zoom out one thylakoid, like we are zooming out the one thylakoid, on the surface of a thylakoid we observe the group of pigments. This group of pigment is called the photosystem. That is known as by the photosystem. That is known as by the photosystem. Photosystem, what does it work? It is mainly responsible for absorption of a light energy. When it absorbs the light energy, it involves the breaking down of the water. When water is split, as a result electrons are released which are utilized in the photosystem, and as a byproduct oxygen is formed. When electron rotate within the photosystem, it produces the energy intermediate like ATP and NADPH2. So here we will look on this structure, but now right now we are focusing on the photosystem. What is a photosystem? Photosystem is a group of pigment, and what the pigment mainly do within the plant, they are mainly responsible for absorption of light energy. Like we observe the solar plate, their solar plates are responsible for absorption of light energy and convert into the electrical energy. Similar way, within the living organism, the most complex and beautiful system also work, that is a photosynthesis. Within photosynthesis, these pigments are responsible for absorption of a light energy and convert it into the chemical energy. This group of pigment is known as by the photosystem. In NCRT, the heading of this topic is into light reactions. What is meant by the light reaction? The heading of this topic is light reaction. And in NCRT, the confusing line is written. In NCRT, it is written that within plant, pigment are organized into two discrete photochemical light harvesting complex within photosystem first and photosystem second. When we read this line, we understand that within plant there are two type of photosystems, and each photosystem are present within photosystem second and photosystem 2. It means photosystem first itself consists the two parts or two discrete photochemicals, and photosystem second also consists two discrete photochemicals. If we read this line convey this meaning, but the real meaning of this line is that the plant is a group of pigments, and there are two type of group of pigments that we call. This group of pigment is called a photosystem. So within plant there are two type of photosystem, that is a photosystem first and photosystem second. It doesn't mean that each photosystem has a two type of a photochemicals. Okay, understand? So what is the meaning of this line? That that the plant has a two type of a photosystem. One is a photosystem first and another type is a photosystem second. And photosystem is also called the light harvesting complex because it is responsible for the absorption of a light energy. The name for the photosystem first and the second are given on the basis of their discovery. But when the function within plant, if two photosystem are present, then they function first photosystem second work, then photosystem first work. So their naming is on the basis of discovery, but on the way of a function, or first of all photosystem second work, then photosystem first work. Why it is why photosystem second work earlier than the photosystem first? The reason behind it, that they have a pigment that is called the chlorophyll A molecule, and it has an absorption maxima, and the absorption maxima for the photosystem first and photosystem second is different. The absorption maxima for the photosystem first is 700 nanometer. So it is also called as PS. It is also called as P700 or PS700. Whereas the absorption maxima for the photosystem second is 680 nanometer. So it is also called P680 photosystem. So the another name of photosystem first is P700 and the another name of photosystem second is P680. So photosystem second has a absorption peak at 680 nanometer of wavelength of a sunlight. So photosystem second work earlier than photosystem first. When the light fall on the plant, it has a wavelength, it has a high energy. So when the energy is high, so it means the relation between the energy and wavelength is inversely proportional. So the wavelength should be lower. So when the light fall on the plant, it has a high energy, and high energy means it has a low wavelength. So 680 nanometer plant earlier absorbed the 680 nanometer. As a result of the functioning of the two photosystem in non-cyclic pathway, that photosystem second should work for earlier and then photosystem first work. Now photosystem itself has a two component. One component is called the antenna and the another component is called the reaction center. So it has a two component. One is a reaction center and another is an antenna. Like we said that is a thylakoid. That is a thylakoid, and on the membrane of a thylakoid we observe the photosystem. If we zoom out the photosystem, so it contains the different types of pigments, like just like the chlorophyll B, that is a chlorophyll B, and it also contains the carotenes. It also contains the carotenes, and it also contains the xanthophyll. It also contains the xanthophyll. And in NCRT, it is written that the single molecule of a chlorophyll A form the reaction center. But in reality, two molecules of a chlorophyll A are responsible for the formation of a reaction center. But according to the NCRT, we assume that the single molecule of a chlorophyll A will form the reaction center. It will form the reaction center. So photosystem is a group of pigment, and within photosystem there are the pigment which are responsible for absorption of light energy, and it is responsible for the excitation of electron that will further go to the chemical reaction that form the reaction center, because after the excitation of electron from the chlorophyll A molecule, it will never come back again. It will go to the chemical reaction. So it is called the reaction center. But apart from the reaction center, that is a chlorophyll A molecule. According to the NCERT, we assume that the single chlorophyll A molecule form the reaction center. The chlorophyll B, carotene, xanthophyll, also it contains a chlorophyll A that form the what? It form the antenna. That form the antenna. And what is the function of antenna? What is the function of antenna? Antenna is responsible for absorption of a wavelength at the broader wavelength. Absorption of a sunlight at the broader wavelength. As we know that this chlorophyll A molecule for the photosystem second will absorb the wavelength of 680 nanometer, and the electron get excited and it will go into the reactions. So that is called the reaction center. But assume that if the light is not over 680 nanometer, then what will occur? If the light is over 550 nanometer, if the light is over 600 nanometer, in this condition the reaction center will not work. So in this case, that these accessory pigment are responsible for the absorption of a these accessory pigment are responsible for the absorption of a wavelength at a broader a different wavelength. So they absorb the different wavelength and they transmit the wavelength. When the wavelength suppose that this xanthophyll molecule is responsible for absorption of 500 nanometer of a sunlight. So the electron get excited and the light will release, and this wavelength should be goes to the second pigment molecule. As you know that the energy when the energy transfer from the one molecule to the another molecule, so energy should be decreased. When energy decrease, so the wavelength is increased. It means when the first pigment molecule absorb the sunlight of 500 nanometer wavelength and the electron get excited, when these electron comes back to the ground state, they release the energy. It should not be of 500 nanometer. As a energy transfer, the energy decrease. So energy decrease, the wavelength increase. So the next pigment molecule, it absorb the wavelength of the 520 nanometer. In this way, the wavelength goes on increasing. The next molecule, when the electron get excited and come back to the ground state, it releases a wavelength of the 550 nanometer. In this way, the xanthophyll, carotene and chlorophyll B molecule, the light energy is transferred and the wavelength goes on increasing. And finally, the wavelength should reach at the 680 nanometer. When the wavelength reach at the 680 nanometer, the chlorophyll A molecule absorb this wavelength and excite the electron, and these electron will participate to form the ATP or an ATPase2. Hence, it is called the reaction center. And what does the accessory pigment work? They continue the function of a photosystem at broader wavelength. As we know that the main pigment within the photosystem, that is a chief pigment, that is a chlorophyll A molecule, is responsible for absorption of a wavelength at 680 nanometer. But when within surroundings 680 nanometer wavelength of light is not present, in this case photosystem should not stop working. The accessory pigment molecule, that is called the antenna, that will continue the function of photosystem by absorbing the different wider wavelength of a light. So in this way, the reaction center and antenna work within the photosystem to continue the light reactions. When this system work, it release the it is responsible for formation of ATP and NADPH2. When photosystem second and photosystem first both work, this is called the non-cyclic pathway, and within non-cyclic pathway we observe the formation of ATP along with the NADPH2. And if only photosystem first work, then this system is called the cyclic pathway. Within cyclic pathway, we observe only the formation of ATP. Why we call the cyclic and non-cyclic pathway? Because within the cyclic pathway, the electron rotate again and again in the cyclic manner. In non-cyclic pathway, these electrons are finally accepted by the NADP plus to form the NADPH2. They will never come back again. Hence, it is called the non-cyclic pathway. Ultimately, the energy intermediates are formed, that is the ATP and NADPH2, which will be utilized again in the biosynthetic phase to form the glucose. Now another thing is that what is the function? To to perform the light reaction. What is the function of a photosystem? That is to perform the light reaction. And where does they are present? They are present on the membrane of a thylakoid. So it is all about the photosystem, and it is more interesting topic within the photosynthesis. And after clearing this topic, we may go to the cyclic pathway, non-cyclic pathway, and then we will proceed to the biosynthetic phase. So it's all about the photosystem. Thank you. Myself, Santosh Kumar.